So I've downloaded some new assets. You can see them there. And with them, I think we can make a new icon of the city. So for once, I actually haven't done much off-camera work. I think we will call this fort the stream. Yeah, I'll put it on screen. Maybe I'll just end up learning how to say that well and off the tongue. But yeah, I think this is where we're gonna do some sort of proper fort. Now I'm gonna be wanting to kind of get an idea of what I want to do. I think we should put like a church here to start off. I like this one. I'm not sure if it works as the center of a fort. I don't think this is the right style, but this can go somewhere else in the city. Oh, okay. This can go there. I'm just copying Prague once again. But yeah, that'll be there in the future. Yeah, I'm happy with. Yeah, that would be really cool. No, let me actually find. Okay, so I've picked this original church, but what I want to do for the rest of this, I guess, citadel. Yeah, that would be what it is. I want to do kind of a mixture of it literally being like a palace and a mixture of it being heavy fortified walls. So to do that, we're gonna get out the new assets. There we go. Don't know why I'm saying it weird. So yeah, I do actually like this texture. Okay, and so for the roofs of these, I think a pretty vibrant red. It's a bit too much. Yeah, I think that's a good one. Yeah, I think I might try and splice in the roofs of these. Or if there's another, I'd probably go for a 3x2 industry. No, I think that's a bit too wide. Yeah, so I like how that looks. And then I think on the other side, we could probably start getting some roads done as well. I think we'll probably have a bit of a steep drop there, but on the other side, maybe it actually won't be straight up there, and the actual square in front of the church would be more something like this. But the actual wall for the other side, I think we will do it using a bit less grand buildings, and we'll use these European ones. I'll be able to sink them down, and they look quite convincing. I will probably shift them about a bit, even though it is the same building, but I might be able to try something else. Yeah, okay, I think this will look quite good. I might want to turn the sun. I've managed to place the city where it's never sunny where I want it to be. I had started off by trying to make these platforms work, but to be honest, I don't really like the color. I think we should actually embrace this stony look. I've also placed a tower down, and I think it works. It doesn't take the spotlight away from the church, but it adds to it. So as for the retaining walls that will be here, I don't want to go crazy. But I don't know how I feel about the bridge. I don't know where it would lead to. That's my main issue. I could maybe do, well, I've just answered my own question. Yeah. So we're gonna do a bridge. We should probably do it like from there. We could do it across this valley, which coincidentally is where the entire thing gets its name. So actually, I think that ties everything together quite well. But these bridges, they're quite thick. So I've got this set up to work. Now, I'm not too worried about something looking completely ridiculous from across the city, because this area I think will make into some green space at the very least. Or probably, yeah. We can maybe even make it into like a decorated gardens, but so yeah, I'll try and mark this out again. I've put a transform lock on, and it still did not work. So I've done this side. I think the color, like this brown, yellow, beige, it's interesting, and I think it does work. I would also say that all of these, because they're all props, none of them are assets. Absolute nightmare. But yeah, I'm gonna give up on this bridge. I'm just gonna call it a ruin. And yeah, I'm kind of worried to start putting trees down, but I think I'll wait until I actually do the rest of the grounds. So I think we'll probably like. I've also put a road. Yeah, so we've also got a road there. Okay, so what I think I want to do now, I think I want to kind of lay out some of the roads that will end up being next to. I think I want to do a park, or at least a bit of a park here, similar to the one in Budapest. But I also want, I think a train station idea here would be really cool. We could do a tunnel as well. Okay, I think, and then they come into the actual shed. That's what it's called, isn't it? Okay, so I've set out the roads, and now it kind of looks more likely that the train station would be something in what's like this sort of area. Which, yeah, I'm okay with that. But that leaves this area and these blocks. I only had... Whoa. I don't think they're supposed to do that. No. What sort of... Oh, okay. Have I used... I must have used a weird road. Yeah, I have, okay. So, yeah, I'm not too happy about that fire station. I only placed it there because we had a bunch of fires. So, or I guess maybe I just wasn't happy with where it was. I think I might still keep it, yeah. If I put it somewhere like that, I think that would work. Yeah, and then this back wall almost looks like it's actually dug into the side, and if I do this with the terrain, I might be able to kind of make it a bit more convincing as well. But yeah, I think I want to do these blocks. What I want for at least the bottom of this road, I do want there to be small buildings. So I've kind of laid out a few more buildings. I'm probably gonna just excuse all of the gaps in these abutments using just trees. Because there'll probably be bigger trees covering these little trees, so I think I'll be fine. Now I'm kind of looking at views, and I mean there will be a good view from this bridge. There won't be a good view from... Wow, that's not supposed to happen. So yeah, there won't be a good view from this bridge, but that's okay, because it's not Prague. That'll be the motto of this series at this point. So I think, yeah, I would say that quite fits, and it's quite cool. That's quite cool how it's kind of made courtyards itself. And then as for our view, yeah, our view will be fine. Even if this is a... well, let's see. If this is a level 5 corner, which I'd say it could be, Because it's at the corner between this 4-lane road. This mainer road. So now that I've done this block area, there's kind of an area in Prague where I don't know what it is, but I think it's like some sort of grove of trees, which I think would be cool to almost replicate here. I mean, it makes sense why they wouldn't want buildings straight up to the castle, because then like hostile people, hostile enemies would be able to come up straight up to the castle. So if there's an open area, then they can kind of pry them off a lot easier. And then actually by giving this area a path, we can kind of segue into what this park is going to be. I'm not kind of the best at making parks, to be honest. I think we should do a line of trees at least. And let's make it a bit less monotonous. How far is it across? 270, 135. Oh, did I? Oh, wow. So that's basically the middle there. We could do like a double alley. I like the look of that. I'm kind of leaving the inspiration from Budapest now. I like this idea though. And actually with that I can make this kind of its own thing. I'll probably replace that for the... I do think I've got a sidewalk texture surface somewhere. Sidewalk. That's not it. Oh, I don't, but okay, yeah, that works. Okay, so I'm not gonna put a wall there, but instead I'll add this, and it can be almost like a royal terrace or something. Okay, so I've added some hedges, and now I'll add some desire paths, although actually I think we will have some trees at least along here, but I think we'll also do trees or like patches of bushes and unkept land in the actual thing, and that would then make the desire path a bit more interesting, because it would be like people have to avoid things and walk around them. But then they'll actually, yeah, okay. But then there'll be rows of poplar trees, and I think that might create a cool contrast. I can create a grid, right? Wow. I think that's a good amount there. Okay, I hope this doesn't lag. I hope the YouTube can actually pick it up as well. Yeah, and then, so off of that we can then make the path do something like, and it could also be like people are just like enjoying walking. Walking through the trees. Oh yeah, that looks really good. That looks really good. So I found I had this, what's it called? Soviet Park Alley. And yeah, I like it. I would have probably preferred it to actually be kind of parallel to this whole chain of, I guess, notable features, but I think it's too long to fit. So I did it sideways, and I do think it still works. Although I have to have some sort of excuse for why this path kind of does this now. I might make it kind of like a Italian garden, I think it would be. And then I think I left a gap in the hedges, yeah. And so I think this looks quite nice. It's a bit barren as for everything else, so I could actually add some hedges to make it seem a bit more, I guess, interesting, a bit more special. So I've added a bit of texturing here, as if it's like this is where you might go to have a picnic. I've added a tree and a couple more paths. I might have overdone it in the texturing, but I think maybe it's summer in the story and that's why the grass hasn't recovered quickly. So I think that works quite well. I can't believe this. For these blocks which directly face the park, I'm thinking, yeah, I think they would be quite valuable, and I think they would probably be historically valuable as well, so I'll make some quite nice, I might use these German buildings. I could probably splice them in and fit another one in the middle. And then, I like that, yeah, I like how that looks. So, by now I'm just going through and detailing it up with trees, because we've actually finished, well, I'm not going to do these blocks this episode, I might do them another time, and probably at the same time when we do the station. But we've finished this park, and we've nearly finished this. I just want to get some like trees in to see how it all might look. So what I've been doing, I've been sinking down, you might see it here, sinking down some oak trees to create a bit of foliage in the trenches. So to finish up the buildings on the inside, I think I'm just going to be a bit boring and just go for what I guess I've kind of turned into the palace building for the city. And I might add in some they're not retaining walls. I said it earlier in this video, I forgot what they're called, abutments on the, well, this is a bit, wow, that's a long street. It's supposed to be like the Golden Alley in Prague. But obviously for this, but you wouldn't have a palace kind of coming onto an alley. So I might add abutments to kind of, and I might add an entrance as well. Yeah, so having added these, I think that's kind of the first step to a bit more detail. I think we could do is a fountain. So I could go, yeah, I think a circular one might look a bit more lavish. We could do that one big one, one small one theme that we did here. And I'll actually copy the color. Bring that there, and there. And that looks, yeah, that looks a bit better still. Now, I think some benches. So for now, I wanna finish up basically everything above the train tracks, which will involve making an extension to the waterfront. I'm not going to do the same thing that we've got going on over there. I'm actually not too sure what I am going to do. I do want it to be normal city blocks, but they will have to be thin, but I guess, yeah, I guess I'm alright with that. Let me find a thin road. Now, I've just made the decision to get rid of the factories that we had, basically just purely an eyesore, and I'm actually going to bring them back, but I've been looking at like Bremen and Hamburg, and I want to add a bit of a kind of gentrified area where it basically is that like the factories by the riverside were turned into a nice, or closer to the riverside, they were turned into a bit nicer places, but then obviously the factories on the hillside, they can stay ugly. So, because I guess the city's not fully gentrified yet, I guess that would be the story. But I do also like the idea of this having some restaurant space. Even though it's by a road, so I might add some bollards, or I wonder if I can add something a bit more dividing. And then, even though the space is quite small, I do think that gives us enough space to put some tables and chairs. So, as for this hill here, I wanted to put some sort of monument at the top, or like a statue. Now, I'm not too concerned how people will get up here, because I can't figure that out myself either. So I've managed to find a statue of a lion, and yeah, I'm quite lucky that it actually faces the castle. So it's almost as if like it's a statue in honor of the castle, which I do think is quite cool. So I think I will keep that. Now I just need to build a path down. I think the only way that it could possibly be done would be going up the ridge. Strangely, this platform wants to always drop to the ground, so I might have to lock it in place. I don't know if that's how it works. But yeah, I think it does kind of fit. I think this cliff might be a bit too steep, but there isn't so much that I can do about it now. I can add some trees in. Although, yeah, this is a great use of the new cliff face texture, which here works quite well, I would say. I think the cliff face texture would actually work really well in like a Rio de Janeiro inspired city as well. And so, with a couple changes and tweaks to some faulty assets, we now have a completed castle. The skyline of the city looks pretty epic now. We've got that church in the background and our fortifications. And we now have a pretty epic park, fit for a capital city, and some weird olive groves for some reason. So yeah, thanks for watching, and well, if you're watching this far then you're probably going to, but stick around for the next episode. And oh yeah, we've got a name for the city. I put it in a poll, and it seems like we've got a winner. I'm not gonna let that run for much longer. So it seems like we've got the city of Kralhrad. I said that wrong, but I'll learn. But yeah, thanks for watching.